And now, it's time for Fire Talks.
Fire Talks.
Unique New York. Unique New York. Unique. If you haven't seen my last two videos, you can check them out right here. It's so convenient how that works, hey? But if you have, you would know that I was in the northern part of Canada, which is the Yukon, and I was more specifically in the city of Whitehorse with my dad for about 3 days. After those 3 days, my dad and I booked it westwards towards Haines Junction, which is where my aunt, my uncle, and my 2 cousins live. And for various reasons, I decided not to vlog that part of our vacation, but that's not to say I didn't film. So I decided that instead of vlogging, I was gonna take all the footage and recap it together when I was here at home in front of the fire. This is Fire Talks. So after we got to HJ, that's short for Haines Junction, we just spent the rest of the night with my cousins and auntie and uncle touring their property, as my dad and I had never been up that way, like ever. We've never been that far north in Canada. So it was just a really cool experience. One thing I noticed throughout all of the Yukon and all the drives we took were the trees and the leaves just changing of seasons. It's so beautiful. I'm sure I'm gonna throw some video clips in there, but it was serene. Like, it was unlike anything I've seen before. It was absolutely stunning. When we woke up the next day was when the real adventure started. So we had our breakfast, we had our coffee, the 2 essential things you gotta do every morning. Then we packed into my uncle's logging truck and he drove us down like a 7-kilometer windy dirt road to their logging operation. So one thing that I found really cool was the way that my uncle's company operates. So their goal isn't to take down live green trees. They go for the huge pockets of dead trees that say like the mountain pine beetle is killed. And it's a win-win. Those trees otherwise would just aid a forest fire, whereas if they chop them down and bring them back to their community, they can make firewood for their remote community, as they don't have gas pipelines and everyone uses boilers and just burns firewood to heat water to heat their homes. So it's a win-win and a really cool operation. So after a morning of logging, we hit up the gun range, which is super cool because as much as people might poke fun of me, I've never shot like an actual gun in my life. So this was a first for me. I'm probably gonna super butcher the names, but we shot a 9mm handgun, a 22 caliber pellet gun, so kind of a rifle thing, and then a Tavor, which I'm not sure what it shoots, but I know they're called Remington rounds. So whatever it shot, this is the casing from it. So that's pretty cool. So that is a gigantic bullet. It was shooting those, and it's so cool to hold something so powerful in your hands. Honestly, it was kind of scary since I've never done something like that before. Holding something that has that much power, and when you shoot it, it just like jolts back. It was crazy. It was honestly crazy. I'm just gonna tell you right now, Call of Duty is a lie. You can't just shoot a handgun like that. Like, I shot it and I almost lost the gun because of how much it bounced back. Like, so much recoil, so much. And then to just round off the day after we shot some guns, we went off-roading. It was a super manly day. Guns, logging, and off-roading. I mean, what more can you ask for? So we jumped on this 6-wheeler quad and we drove through some rivers, some puddles, down like, I don't know, it was probably like a half-an-hour trail. And then at the end of the trail, we went mining for gold. So even after all that super manly stuff, to me, one of the coolest things happened actually the next day. The next day, my auntie, myself, and my dad all jumped in the car and we drove straight to the United States to visit Alaska. It was roughly a 3-hour drive through the mountains, but the drive was absolutely amazing. There was some super cool scenery. I'll throw some clips in the video. But after sitting in the car for 3 hours, we finally made it. Number 1 on our agenda was definitely to get breakfast, because obviously we're hungry. So we ran across this super weird place. On the sign, it was something along the lines of the Thai food bakery for breakfast, or I don't know, I'm probably butchering that, but it was something along those lines. It definitely had Thai food. It talked about a bakery, and also that it was a breakfast joint. I don't know. It was weird, but the food was really good, surprisingly. Après that, which is French, obviously, for after that, we headed to a river nearby to see if we could spot a bear, because we heard that it's a local spot. We definitely spotted a bear. In fact, we spotted 3. Grizzly bears, not black bears, grizzly bears. And just to put the metaphorical cherry on top of that metaphorical cake, it was a mama grizzly and 2 baby grizzlies. It was a mom and her cubs, which can mean super, 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 super protective mom, which can probably get pretty vicious if you threaten her cubs, because mama bear is protecting baby bears, because baby bears are mama bear's life. So while being cautious, I still wanted to get video and photo of them. We had to stay back, and my auntie and my dad were super concerned about me going too close, and so my dad's always like, Noah, stay back, don't go any further. But well, the 3 of us were being bear aware, and we were definitely being safe around them. Some people were not. There was this one guy who clearly did this for a living, or at least was super into the hobby. He had a big tripod set up with like it was like a cinema camera. It was a really good camera set up on his tripod, and he was just following the bears as they went. And so I would say they're about 50 meters down, and we're all standing here. So a bunch of people here, bears here, 50 meters in between. And so as the bears walk up the river like that, we as a group of people walk backwards, and so we just kind of match the distance so everyone's a safe distance away, except this man on the tripod. So we're all here, bears start walking up, everyone starts backing away, except this guy, and this guy just stays as we back up. And so by the time the bears come out of the river onto the landing we were, I am back in the car and everyone else is on the road or in their cars waiting. This man is standing beside his tripod with his cinema camera watching the bears, and I'm not even kidding you, probably 5 meters maybe, like extremely close. Frankly, I'm not sure if at this point he was just like, oh, it's too late to move, and he just decided he was gonna pray and just hope the bears didn't eat him, or what. He just sat there with his camera and let the bears walk past him. Now luckily the bears didn't do anything. They were super nice, and I guess they were feeling friendly, but I mean, that is freaky, man. A bear could just pounce you and squish you and eat you. Like, you don't want to mess with that. In the end though, he made it out a-okay, and he probably got some really good footage on his camera. I'm kind of jealous. Jealousy aside though, I have to say it was one of my favorite experiences of the trip. It was so cool. I mean, like seeing a mama grizzly and her 2 cubs, that's something to say. That's pretty cool. In my books. In my book. And on that note, I think I'm going to end the fire talk for tonight. I want to thank you guys all so much for watching. Appreciate every single one of you so much. And I'll see you all in another one.